Hi, LindaBauwin here from StampingWithLinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. Today is Tuesday, so I'm going to be doing a creative fold, and this is going to be a little bit different. I am using the stitched rectangles. Excuse me, this is not stitched rectangles. This is the stitched labels dies, and I've already cut them out with the Blueberry Bliss cardstock. I've also taken to a wild rose and stamped that with the Blueberry Bliss. I have a piece of Whisper White. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and a piece of the Blueberry Bliss cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But what I'm going to do first is I am going to take my marker and with the Blueberry Bliss, and I am just going to use one of the stamps that is from that stamp set to a wild rose, and I am going to color with that Stampin' Write marker right on the back of that stamp. This is a great way when you have the markers to pull apart your stamps and be able to get two different looks. So I'm going to bring in my paper piercing mat. I'm going to blow on the back of the stamp to make sure that the ink is good and wet, and then I'm going to stamp that image. I'm then going to take my mist cleaner, and I have just spritzed that, and I'm going to take it into my cleaning mat and clean that stamp off good, because I don't want any of that residue of that image. So I'm just going to stamp, make sure that it's good and dry. Then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just color the bottom part of that stamp. So it says, "True friendships is one of God's greatest gifts." So I'm just using the side of my marker to color in that stamp. And then we are going to stamp that at the bottom. And I didn't get a real good coverage, so I'm just going to go in with my marker and fill that in. That's one thing nice about having markers that are the same color as your ink pad, so that you can go in and correct that. Another great tool to use when you're doing this technique at breaking your stamps apart is the Stamparatus. That way you know it's in the exact place and you can re-ink it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I am going to score these labels at the 1 3/4 inch mark. I'm going to bring in my other one. So 1 3/4. So I've got those scored. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a large dimensional, and I'm going to put it on the back of that flower that I have already stamped. But first I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to break the fibers of that flower and kind of curl them so that it has some texture to them. Going to add my dimensional, and then I'm going to put that about in the center of that Whisper White. I'm going to grab my snail and score that over. I'm going to add snail. Now you could use tear and tape. You do want a lot of tape on it to hold it, because this is going to be the hinge that opens your card. So we've got that side. I'm going to do the same with this side. Whoops, if I can hold on to it. Right in the wastebasket. If I want something to go in the wastebasket, it won't go, but when you don't, then it flops right in the wastebasket. So I've got my snail, and I'm just tucking it underneath that flower, kind of eyeballing where it needs to go. And there you have a nice flap Those flaps will just fold right underneath on that flower, and then you can write your message right where those flaps are. So just another creative fold, just using very little product as far as cardstock, and very quick. Now you could do this with any die cuts. Like I said, the stitch rectangle would work. I used the labels, but there you have it. A fun creative fold, all in a monochromatic with a Blueberry Bliss cardstock and ink. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.